detected.
Welcome to Two Gents, where two seasoned gents take on the hard truths of life, success, and responsibility. In a world where the rules don't bend for us, these gents believe in doing the work, owning the struggle, and inspiring others to take action. So, pull up a chair.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Two Gents Podcast. You got Pastor A.F. Riggins. Byron Glass should be joining us shortly. And yeah, I know I surprised you a little bit. I got a couple more surprises on the way, but I just want to say, how you doing, Pastor?
Loving it, Ron. Loving it, man. We started looking professional. We're starting to climb up in the world.
Yeah, I've been out there working just a little bit, Pastor. Working just a little bit, trying to do some stuff to make us look a little bit more like we know what we're doing. I mean, we've been here for a while. I saw a video. I put up a picture last week of the Smoking Glass Hour almost 10 or 11 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And it just kind of blew my mind that we've been out here doing this thing for a while, still talking about the same politics, still trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah, I like the idea. It's called Two Gents, and then all of a sudden, I'm the surprise package in it.
Oh, yeah. We got some bombshells out there. We got some real bombshells like you, D, and God, yeah. See, he must be on my mind. John comes in, and we had some other people that joined us, and everybody adds to the platform, and we just try to do the best that we can out here with what we got, and I'm trying to improve it every week. So, Pastor, we got an intriguing subject, and I just think that it's time to ask a question about where this country is going, since nobody else is asking, and since she has to be part of the equation that's coming in the future. So, Pastor, I'm going to give it to you, let you introduce yourself, and then we're going to go straight into the show.
I'm glad to be here tonight. Ron is always part of Two Gents broadcast with yourself and Baron Glass. And like you stated before, we've been doing this first on Blog Talk Radio since 2014 or 15. And now back then you could hear our voices, and I can hear our voices and see our faces. The topic tonight, would you still vote for Kamala Harris? I like that topic. And whenever you want me to go and give my little 2 cents about it, I will. 2 cents for two gents.
Yeah, I appreciate your 2 cents for two gents. I'm gonna play something, then then you can just jump right on after then.
Yes, sir.
And here's a little bit of video that I made up. That's Kamala Harris. Is America ready for normal again? And Pastor, I'm gonna bring us back up on the stage like this, and I'm gonna leave Kamala in my background, and I'm gonna ask you that question: is America ready for normal again?
As I was stating before we went into the show, Ron, what's about to happen is we're going to be pushed to a breaking point to choose normal or down the path of a country that's not a democracy. They just passed a bill in the House, which they call the domestic bill. Notice it's called a domestic bill. You know, I get tongue tied.
Me too.
Meaning it's focused on America. And everybody's arguing about cuts in Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security and cuts from welfare and unemployment and how it's going to hurt people, middle class and the poor, and tax breaks for the rich and everything. That's window dressing. Getting pork in the bill is going to give, if that bill is passed and signed by the President of the United States, you give them authority to defy the Supreme Court, fire judges' orders, and also even to deny having elections if you don't want to. which means we'll become like Russia, which Putin took back over after that elections and has been a strongman ever since.
Mhm.
Now, I believe the bill's going to be stopped in the Senate, blocked. It won't go through. But it is a telltale sign of what Trump and MAGA wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
So Kamala Harris represents politics that are normal. Now, she got the short end of both sticks because when she first ran in 2019, I met her down in Houston at a teachers, Texas State Teachers Association was part of the NEA union, National Education Association. They came to Houston, Texas. And when they came, about 19 candidates running at the time, just right before the pandemic, in July of 2019. Biden was here, Kamala Harris, the mayor of New York at the time, Bernie Sanders, Klobuchar, a number of those guys were here. I was serving as an usher.
Oh, okay.
So I got to meet them backstage. I got pictures with Biden and several other ones and talked to them. Kamala Harris came towards me and got a picture of her in her face, but never did really get to talk to her.
Okay.
But her story is this. Her dad is from Jamaica. Her mama is from India. Born in America.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get it twisted. She wasn't born in Jamaica nor India. Her parents met here in America. She was born in America. She grew up in Sacramento, California. And so happens the church background I'm from, the Church of God, Anderson, Indiana, is where she went to church at growing up. Miss Brown was her Sunday school teacher, her neighbor, and raised in that church. And she talks about it in her story. I'm letting you know she has deep American roots, religious roots, community roots. There's stories about when she was coming up as an attorney and what happened to her in her early life before she was married, and people try to bring it up, some mistakes she made, and we don't know the truth of it all. But when she did catch hold of being the district attorney for California, her whole life changed, in which she fought crime, in which she a lot of times went to court to help out African-American men who were being given long prison sentences for drug use that did not match what the crime did. At the time, they matched the crime.
Mm-hmm.
People try to talk about how she tried to hurt the Black community. No, hard crime that was wrong, crime that had to do with gangs, crime that had to do with violence. She cracked down on it. Look at Compton. Look at You Got the Juice and Boys in the Hood and all those kind of movies like that. They was displaying all that stuff. She was fighting all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
While meanwhile trying to help people who was on the fringes, who may have been recreationally using drugs, whatever, help them to get into rehab. And so the wrong story was told about her because she was the number one police officer, that's what you call it, crime fighter. When you're the district attorney for state, you're the number one top, what's the word I'm looking for? Officer of the state.
Yeah. Represent the state.
Represent. She was able to go to Congress and in 2 years make a lot of change. She was prosecuting the case against the Trump administration while she was in Congress, in the Senate. You remember when what's the judge before Barrett, the one that had all those problems with in college, he was dealing with these young women and stuff.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I can't think of his name right now. Regan's gonna get on the YouTube and I can't get to somebody's name. But a couple of those judges that came up, because Trump put 3 judges on there.
Mm-hmm.
She prosecuted them in the hearings. and brought out all of the stuff that they were doing wrong. It's just the Senate didn't have the Democrats didn't have the votes to keep these people out.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Sessions, you remember him? She took him to task. Tuberfield, she took him to task. So, a lot of people she took to task on a lot of stuff. And then she ran for president and got out early because she didn't have the framework. The Democrats, the same reason why I became independent. You have to have a framework to run in the Democratic primary. That's a lot of super delegates, a lot of backdoor stuff. Like AOC and Bernie Sanders will be shooting you straight, but then in the back rooms, there are too many people that are pulling strings. And that's why you upset about the Democratic Party all the time. The Republicans, you can see it wide open what they're doing. Democrats got a lot of closed doors, but to get the same result of Republicans and then look weak at the same time. So she wasn't able to get the backing, so she dropped out early. But in that first debate, she took Biden to task. Because when Biden got in the Senate in 1976, he was not yet open-minded to dealing with racism.
And Pastor, can I stop you right there? Because I know that you're going somewhere with that, but it's a point to be made right there.
Yes, sir.
That was one of the things that Jill Biden held against Kamala Harris, even all the way up until she was running for vice president. She held that against her, and that's one of the things that came out in the book was about what you're talking about right now. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
They really don't.
See,
Biden.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying Biden did some stuff that would shock you during that election and things that he said, and that's what Pastor Riggins is bringing up. And Pastor, I just want to make sure that everybody understood that point, because when I read that and I heard it, I was like, no, this can't be true. This ain't the same person that we're talking about now, but it was. Because you just brought it up, and we haven't even discussed this.
Yeah. See, politics is cutthroat. That's why Barron keeps saying, Riggins, you're going to run. It's got to be in my nature to be cutthroat, which means me serving as a pastor of a congregation and me trying to be cutthroat at the same time don't gel. Mm-hmm. I just threw that in there. Biden was cutthroat because now when Kamala came for his pass, which that was his past, and eventually he had to own up to it. Eventually he had to, and see, let me say, and she came for his past when she and Biden's son, who had died from brain cancer, who was Attorney General, were good buddies and friends before she even ran against Biden.
Mm-hmm.
But friendship is one thing, professionalism in politics is another. Mm-hmm. And that's what Jill Biden got messed up at. See, whatever you have to do as a politician on that stage, so you can get to where you need to go to be able to serve, you got to pull all the stops out. But Biden understood this because, see, Biden had been messing with politics since 1976. So when it was all said and done and the dust was cleared and he was the nominee, who did he turn to? The one who punched him in the gut and told the truth on him. Mm-hmm. He went right back to Kamala and said, because I know you worth your salt. If you stood on that stage flat-footed and called me out that I at the time was not on the right side of segregation and busing and all this stuff, and now I've changed, I've evolved. See, let me tell you, we all have to evolve in life, whether it's in politics, whether it's in your maturity of your personality or your decisions, whether it's about your walk with God, whether it's about relationships. You all have to evolve in life. And Biden evolved over time. And by the time Obama picked him as the vice president, he fully understood where he stood at on a lot of these issues. Mm-hmm. Okay. But Biden messed Kamala Harris up in one way. He lied. And this is what you come off many shows talking about the Democratic Party. He said when he ran in 2020, I know that I'm older. I know that I'm taking a risk. but the soul of America is at hand. People dying, about 1 million people, some dying from COVID. The streets was full of violence behind the George Floyd stuff. Trump was off the rails already. He'd been impeached. He ended up getting impeached twice behind the stuff he was doing. Biden said, I got to save the soul of America. I'm going to run to save the democracy, and I will not run again. And when he said that, that means when he picked Kamala Harris, that means that ultimately the way it usually happens is your vice president is going to run against other people in your party for the next primary. So in 2022, Biden had a choice right then to say, listen, I said I wasn't going to run again. I'm not going to run again. Now, Kamala, and whoever else, guy from senator from Arizona, come on, governor from Wisconsin, governor from Pennsylvania, all of y'all can put your hats in the ring and y'all can thrash this thing out as the Republicans thrash their deal out. He didn't do that. Biden got into power and wanted to hold power. Biden got into power and he thought, okay, his pride got the best of him too. Because he beat Trump one time and Trump keep hollering that the election was stolen, that Biden cheated. So now Biden's caught up in himself to run against Trump again. Little did we know, because if he's an aggressive form of cancer, it might have already been on set and then.
You know. That's the thing that I'm gonna say, Pastor, and I'm glad you got to that point because it's very key that we understand that. Because if Biden have cancer, it didn't come up overnight. If Biden started having mental capacities that were failing him at that time, it didn't come up overnight. His family knew about it. Jill knew about it. His immediate cabinet knew about it. And now when somebody's writing about it, the first thing they say that everybody's coming out, they're trying to clear their position from where they came from. And that's not good. And what it did was it tied Kamala Harris' hands to a point where either if she said something about it, they was going make it out to be a negative on the vice president, because the vice president is supposed to play her role. She's supposed to be the assistant to the president that's out there. Even if she knew, she wasn't in a position where she could come out and say it. But who I fought is his wife and the people that was behind him. Biden might not have been the one that was saying that he wanted to run again. But they got so caught up in that power that it gave them. And you said, I heard you earlier, they got so caught up in that power that it gave them that they wasn't ready to relinquish it yet.
Right, because see, Biden, his administration, notice use the word, his administration. His administration got a lot of stuff done. But Biden wasn't doing a whole lot of work. All the people around him was doing the work. Biden was okaying it. Kamala was doing the work. Pete Buttigieg, all these people doing a whole lot of work. And Biden was signing off on it, and things was getting done. And what they thought was, we can run this train on for another 4 years. Well, we do all this stuff, retain him as the figurehead. But that first debate told it all. It just come off on a 3 or 4 day trip. He was tired. He had the flu. His mind was already halfway gone. And he was like a bummer, scumbling, dummy.
And Pastor, and I'm going to go into that. Every little bit needs to be scrutinized. Even before he got on the airplane, they had scheduled a debate, and Biden couldn't even get through the debate. They said when they got to the first sentence, he was supposed to be talking about inflation. He wasn't even on inflation. He went somewhere else. And you know how they try to build him up or coach him up for these debates. And the guy was saying, he said, it ain't no way in the world that he could do any of this. And he went back and told his staff. And when he told his staff, they said, he said, y'all should call this off. Y'all should call this off. So somehow one of the representatives, I think that knew Nancy Pelosi or somebody, they got in touch with her. And she was saying, don't have it. His little group said, no, we're going to go ahead and have it. So they pumped him up on whatever they had to pump him up on and sent him out there. And when this happened, everybody was like, who's that? Who's that person on stage? That's not the person that we voted for.
Yes. Yeah. And so now the truth was out. And it's like 90 some days before the election, 100 days before the election. And for the next 2 or 3 weeks, everybody went into an uproar till almost 91 days for the election for Biden says, you know what? But he'd already said this before he even got to that point. He says, I'm going to run, I'm going to win, and she's going to do a good job. I remember that statement, which meant that I'm going to run, I want to beat Trump, I'm not going to be able to finish, but I'm going to be able to give it to Kamala. That's what he was trying to do. But that's not how politics work. Because just like Trump cannot be a king, Biden could not become a queen maker. Let me say it again. Like Trump could not be a king. He cannot be a king. He wants to be a king. He cannot be a king. Biden thought he could become a queen maker. Like he can run and then give it to Kamala. Like either bow out because he's sick, or he mentally can't do it, or he decide to resign, and then she become the president, and then pick her vice president, something like Nixon did, you see, but do it in a positive light, not a negative light that to run him out. But that plan didn't work.
It didn't work, and here's the reason why it didn't work, because Biden should have stepped out a long time ago.
Yes.
He should have stepped out when his family should have coached him and said, hey, look, we're going to give it to Kamala now, about 3 months out from the time. We didn't let you run all this time, and we realized that your health is not there. But they weren't looking for the best interest of Biden. They was looking for their own self-centered interest. I want to say it like that. Yeah. But they didn't look out for Biden, and that's the thing that that's what they need to point out. And I think people are starting to say it in national media. You weren't looking out for Biden. Y'all was looking out for the power that y'all had, that he represented. And if you would gracefully bowed out, we wouldn't even be talking about Biden right now. We wouldn't even be talking about his cabinet. We'd be talking about Kamala Harris. But they didn't give her enough time to run. They didn't admit to the faults that Biden had, and they tried to cover it up. Now they made that they made that bed. They got to lay in it until they own it.
Right.
The whole Democratic Party is paying for it.
Let me tell you what it's like. It's like we have a basketball team, an AAU basketball team, who's been practicing for 2 years. That's the Republican Party. They've been getting that stuff together since 2022. And we have another team that's out there waiting on them. That's supposed to be the champions. That's Biden. That team gets sick. And they come and get me off. They said, Reagan, we know you used to coach basketball. Can you go get some people together, play this AAU team? You got 3 weeks to get them together, but they've been playing for like a couple of years. You got 3 months. I just say 3 months. I'm gonna put the same deal. Who you think gonna win that game? Most likely.
I know who's gonna win.
The people who's most prepared. The Democratic Party was not prepared. Oh, we had excitement. They raised the most money. They did everything. That guy Jamie, whoever it is from South Carolina, for the Democratic National Convention, he talking about all the field houses, field place they had, all this, the structure, all the stuff laid down. Trump dancing on the stage like a fool. I'm gonna win, because they knew that you playing the B and the C team against the A team. Because they set Kamala up. You cannot win an election in 91 days. People not even paying attention like that. They're not paying attention. She had to fight her way through a primary, get to the height of the primary, claim a victory in the primary, and then come head to head with Trump on the same level. She's trying to punch up while Trump punching down. And he wasn't even the president, but he had been the president, you see. And he had the loudest mouth, and they have the most lies, and she wasn't ready to even combat the lies. She got to my prosecuting Trump, while Trump just keep on spewing out lies, and she wasn't dealing with the issues. She got burnt on that end by Biden. Now let's say she got burnt by Trump on the other end. When Trump ran against Hillary Clinton, the whole country was talking about, we're not ready for a woman president. Okay? When Obama won, they hollered, we want our country back. Trump says, we'll make America great again. That means we want our country back. Here you have the embodiment of both things. A woman who's an African American. A lot of Hispanic students I talk with, told me what their parents were saying. A lady can't be a president. And so guess what? That's why they didn't vote for her in Red Groves. See? A lady can't be president. It wasn't about the color to them. It was about she was a lady. On the other end, you got MAGA and other forces says, we're up. No. This is going to be the first. Once again, was not going to be the first African American of slaves still, because her dad was from Jamaica, her mama was from India. So still, mama was from Anglo American, and his daddy was from Kenya. Nobody like you and I, whose parents came up through slavery, or great ancestors, still haven't ran successfully on a major ticket, on a major party to be president yet. Jesse Jackson ran. He didn't never get up there. What's her name? In 72, Shirley Chisholm ran. She didn't get up that high. The two that ended up on the ballot. One that won, Obama. None of his parents and ancestors were slaves, and none of Kamala Harris' ancestors were slaves. Now, whatever they were doing in Jamaica, I don't know back then, but I'm talking about American slaves. Okay, but the whole idea of a black woman winning, chucks and pearls, no chucks and pearls here.
And then they stacked the deck against her, and that's the thing that I really don't like, Pastor. And by stacking the deck against her, you got a man that's been president that's out there, and he really didn't have to do that much, especially after the debate. Yeah. He basically could sit back and Cadillac through it. She had to do all the work. She had to put together a team, and she even had to reach out to some of Obama's people to bring them in to try to catch up, because she was running so far behind, and the people that she had surrounding her, they couldn't answer a lot of questions that she needed, the stuff that she needed to put in place, the infrastructure and everything. Right. She did a fantastic job of what she did, but she just didn't have enough time to get her message out there. And then I fault her for one thing during the whole process. She wasn't getting out there voicing her side, what she was standing on. She was still trying to carry Biden's message, and what Biden had did. She needed a place where she could carry her own message, and that was one of the things that they said crippled her, because she was still running, trying to support Biden's era versus trying to make her own. And a lot of people got caught up in that, because Biden, they was already feeling a certain type way because Biden had did what he did, and the little party had did what he did. Those books didn't come out till after she lost the election. So they didn't confuse the issue. You knew that people was coming with some books. But can you just only imagine the book that she could have wrote?
Yeah, here's the deal. She was talking about helping out people get houses and forgiving them the debt loan, all that stuff. That stuff was trinkets. You can't just throw trinkets out there. And then she kept hiding from the media.
And that's the part, yeah.
Right. You can't hide. You got to take the risk. She was playing like when you play football, like the Texans used to play. I mean, I'm a Cowboys fan. Cowboys go for broke. The Texans always play what's called conservative ball. Remember Bill? What was that coach name? Bill or whatever?
Belichick or?
No, Bill. No, the guy, the Texans coach before D'Amico Ryan.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He's conservative. He's playing not to lose every time.
Lovey Smith.
Yeah, Lovey Smith style. Him too. But the Anglo-American coach right before him too. Both of them playing not to lose. How can we just run the ball, hold the ball, run the ball, hold the ball, keep back the defense play? We don't want to take no risks. We don't want to throw no interception. We don't want to That's what she was doing by not wanting to go out there to the media, playing not to lose. And I close with this at this session. Right now, Trump hollering about Harvard and the anti-Semitic. That's lip service. You know why it's lip service? Because in the true sense of everything, one of the reasons why Kamala lost, for all these people to run around talking about, we don't want to be anti-Semitic, we don't want to be anti-Semitic. Her husband was a Jew. They didn't want to vote for him to be the first man. Let me say it again. I'm going to say it loud and clear. For all these MAGA and all these evangelical Christians, God protect Israel. God help the Jews. Oh, pray for peace in Jerusalem. Pray for peace in Israel. They didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris because her husband is a Jew.
Mm.
But they'll holler, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm not anti-Semitic. We don't want nobody trying to champion the rights of the Palestinians. We don't want nobody talking about Israel. But that's all lip service. Because deep down in their heart, they knew that Doug Emhoff, was a Jew.
Wow, Pastor, you kind of outlined a lot of stuff that was going on right there, and I want to kind of jump back to some of the stuff that you said. And I know you covered a lot of stuff. I have a list of her accomplishments, and you know, one of the things is, and it covers everything that you just got through saying, because I'm gonna start from number 6. As a child, she went to both Black Baptist Church and the Hindu temple. That was something that you just got through saying. It's listed. So she visited India as a child. That was an accomplishment. She was well traveled as a child, so she had a good upbringing. Harris attended a middle and high school in Montreal after her mom got a teaching job. Her mother was a teacher, so she had the opportunity to pursue. When she was pursuing her education, she had somebody that she could go home to and get information from or help her with her homework. In Montreal, 13-year-old sister led a demonstration in their apartment building trying to make it better for them, but that's something else. After high school, where did she go? She went to Harvard. Mm-hmm. Pastor, stop me at any time, because I'm going to keep on going through this, because I want to get
I love it. I love it. Right now, Trump is fighting Harvard. Nobody fighting Harvard. Mm-hmm. Not because of anti-Semitic, it's because his son didn't get accepted there. They keep going.
He was, in case anybody don't know what Harvard is a prestigious historically Black college in Washington, D.C.
You talk about Howard.
I'm talking about Howard University. I'm sorry.
Howard. She did go to Harvard later. Yeah.
Yeah. She went to Howard University, a prestigious Black college in Washington, D.C. She majored in political science and economics. She joined Kappa Alpha sorority.
Mm-hmm. AKA.
I'm going to keep on going. While still attending law school in San Francisco, I guess she moved to San Francisco. She lived with her sister while she was going to law school. She passed her bar exam in 1990. Her family was skeptical of that thing. But here's where I disagree with all the history. I don't care what she did in her personal relationship. That shouldn't be a part of it. But see, with women, they take that and highlight it, Pastor. Yeah. I don't like that.
Why Trump got 25 different women that said he raped them, and in court and record, the woman that got the $5 million against him for what he did in Fifth Saks Avenue, the judge said he sexually molested her. Mm-hmm. But Kamala Harris had a supposed affair with Willie Brown, the mayor of San Francisco at the time. She was singly supposedly married, supposedly, and people still hanging over her head.
Yeah, in 1994, Harris began a dating relationship with Willie Brown, a powerhouse in California politics, who was the Speaker of the State Assembly and was 30 years older than Harris. They bring that up in here. I don't know why. I don't know why they even added that in there. In 1995, that same man that they talking about she had a relationship was elected mayor of San Francisco, and him and her broke up during 1995. They put that in there. During this time, this one more thing. After being recruited, she became a district attorney in San Francisco. Yes. I'm just trying to give you some highlights, but don't take it as listen to the stuff that she did. Mm-hmm. During this time, Harris courted. Oh, shoot, I ain't worried about that. In 2003, she ran for district attorney in San Francisco against the incumbent Terrence Hellman, her first former boss. That was her former boss that she ran against. Her message and a top strategist on that campaign told Politica was, "We're progressive like Terrence Hellman, but we were competent like Terrence Hellman is not. We're not incompetent as Terrence Hellman was." She was elected in a runoff with 56% of the vote. With her victory, she became the first Black woman in California to be elected as district attorney. That same election was the election that Gavin Newsom was selected as the mayor. The next thing, during her next 3 years as district attorney in San Francisco, the conviction rate went from 52 to 67%. And a lot of people held that over her head. But It
Crime
was
at,
something wrong at that time. If you were a criminal, you feared Kamala Harris.
yes.
That was something that was a positive.
Right.
If she was putting the people that was gonna stop them from kicking in my door behind bars, I ain't got no problem with it. The only people that would have a problem with that one is somebody that was a criminal.
Yes.
One of Harris' most controversial decisions came in 2004 when she declined to pursue a death penalty against a man who murdered a San Francisco police officer. And you need to go back and research that story, because at the funeral, Senator Dianne Feinstein delivered a eulogy in which she criticized Harris, who was in the audience promoting a standing ovation for hundreds of police officers in attendance. Harris would be shunned. That was that was the only bad thing that I seen that I found on Harris but later as a California Attorney General, Harris declined to support the ballot initiatives that would ban the death penalty, raising the accusations of political optimism and inconsistency, because she had just did the other thing.
What she did was she involved.
Yeah.
That's called involved. And see, people don't understand about politics. Politics is a living organism. The Constitution is a living organism. You can amend the Constitution. You can amend it the right way. If you get 2/3, if you get 2/3 of the Senate to make an amendment and 3/4 of the states to sign off on it, it changes. So it is in politics. You live and learn. What I did at 25 years old, I've done better at 56 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's all what politics is too. Keep going, sir.
Yeah, she was under scrutiny during her tenure as San Francisco District Attorney when a technician stole cocaine from the DA's crime lab and mishandled the evidence. Harris was trying to keep things under the wraps, failed to inform the defense attorney. As a result, about 1,000 drug cases were dropped. That's not her fault. That was somebody else's fault. That
Same
was
thing
a
happened.
technician. But
Yeah.
it was it was on her watch. That's all. She in 2004 she had a friendship. She began her friendship with Obama back in the Senate in 2004. I'm gonna go from there. In San Francisco, she vocally supported controversial 2010 that made truancy a misdemeanor and punished parents who failed to send their children to school. Pastor, I'm gonna let you deal with that one real quick.
Man, let me tell you, we have that going on right now in Houston. I've been on what you call a home campus, and I've been in alternative school. If your child don't want to come to school after so many days, the truant officer of the school district is gonna go knocking on your door to find out why your child is not at school, and somebody gonna pay a fine, and somebody may go to court, and then CPS might get involved. They do that in Texas, and we're a Republican-run state, just like they do it in California and anywhere else. See. What it is they'll make it look like something wrong depending on if you got a D or R with it. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, this is a good one here. There was another race that on election night, Cooley made a winning speech in San Francisco Chronicle, declared him the winner. 3 weeks later, after all the votes was counted, Harris was declared the victor by 0.8%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been in a lot of fights.
She's been in a lot of fights. That's what I'm getting to. As Attorney General, when California was offered $4 billion in national mortgage settlement over the foreclosure crisis, Harris fought for a higher amount by refusing to sign the deal. Although she was accused of grandstanding, she managed to secure $20 billion more for the California homeowners. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
No, here's why I say grandstanding.
Yeah.
Because as an African American woman, you stand up on public and saying you're not going to take this, we're going to fight till we get it. She was not the Anglo-American man that was doing it. See, what people, just like you and I, we're supposed to know our place, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to know our place. So in certain circles, I can have the right answer, but I'm the wrong person to say it.
Yeah.
By her being an African American woman standing there and saying we're not gonna take this, we're gonna fight for more. She's grandstanding. But if good old boy done it, he's trying to look out for our country and look out for our state. But she took the grandstanding accusation, fought through, and got billions of more dollars.
And the problem that gets me, Pastor, is they don't come back and clean that stuff up after it's over with.
Oh no!
When the good happens and they benefit from it, they don't come back and clean it up because they already destroyed. the message that they want to get out there is already done, and that's part of politics. That's the part of politics that we don't agree with.
Yes.
Yeah. The California Department of Justice recommended in 2012 that Harris file a civil enforcement action against one West Bank for widespread misconduct when the foreclosure home. Harris, however, declined to prosecute the bank and its CEO Stephen Mnuchin, which serves as a treasury, who now serves as the Treasury Secretary.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you what. It's a give and go in politics, man.
It is. It is.
It's a give and go in politics. Everything's not black and white in politics. Let me say it again. Everything's not black and white. Everything's not blue and red. Everything's not black and white. Everything's not blue and red. There's gray areas and there's purple areas. Let me say it again. Black and white mixed together is gray.
Mm-hmm.
They got gray areas. Red and blue mixed together is purple. Everything in politics is not black and white. Everything is not blue and red. There are some gray areas. There are some areas of purple where Republicans and Democrats can agree or disagree together.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going, sir.
Yeah. Some advocates say Harris didn't do enough to address police brutality while she was Attorney General, especially after she refused to investigate the police shootings of 2 black men in 2014 and 15. She also didn't support a 2015 bill in the state assembly that would have required the Attorney General to appoint a special prosecutor who specialized in police use of deadly force. That's a given. I mean, police brutality was going on at that time everywhere. So,
man, went back to Rodney King. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Rodney King in 91. You had the O.J. Simpson case. What that was all about? Planting evidence and everything. That's way before her time.
Yeah. So, we're going to keep on moving. In 2013, Barack Obama was recorded as referring to Harris as the best-looking Attorney General in the country. He later apologized after critics labeled his comments sexist. How can you do that with that fool that's in office? I'm going to let you handle that one, Pastor.
Man, it's just, like I said.
Double standard.
Double standard. I mean, he just, personally, when you're on the public stage, you say stuff like that, people might take it good, people might take it demeaning. Then he's a married man, and they're like, okay, what is he looking at? But they can't, it's not nothing like, okay, Barack Obama is running around trashing women or being a sexist or anything. Then once he realized what he said was out of line, he did what? He apologized.
Mm-hmm.
Trump will double down. He'll double down. And then he'll say some erroneous stuff and horrendous stuff about women, blood coming out of our eyes and blood coming out of every portion of our body and all that kind of stuff, and say some stupid stuff and then double down on it.
Mm.
Am I right?
You're right, Pastor.
Okay.
Then we get to the next thing that she did. She married Doug. Say his name, Pastor. I can't get it. Imhoff, a corporate lawyer in Los Angeles, in 2014 in a private ceremony officiated by her sister. She won this U.S. Senate race in 2016, defeating fellow Democrat Loretta Sanchez. I'm gonna keep on going. She went viral in 2017 for her sharp questioning of then Attorney General Jeff Sessions on Russia investigation.
Told you. She took him to task.
That was 2017. After 3 minutes of persistent questions, Sessions say, "I'm not able to be rushed this fast. It makes me nervous. I'm not able to be rushed." So he couldn't answer the questions. She had to use that excuse.
She had him on a witness stand.
Yeah. Later she implemented a small strategy of questioning during the Brett Kavanaugh Supreme Court confirmation hearings in 2018, when she grilled him about whether he discussed the Mueller investigation with anyone.
Yeah, Brett Kavanaugh.
This is
right. Brett Kavanaugh is the one that's the judge of the Supreme Court I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brett Kavanaugh. Right? Because the Mueller report is the whole concept how Trump got elected illegally with the help of Russia the first time.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna keep moving, Pastor, because I'm gonna get through this. We got some her most fervent FERVENT, Pastor, online supporters were called
Perfect.
K-Hive, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
Okay, by far the most viral moment of her presidency campaign came in the first Democratic debate when she confronted Joe Biden over his position on cross-district busing in 1970 while using a personal anecdote. There was a little girl in California who was a part of the second class who to integrate her public schools, and then she was bused to a new school, to a school every day. She said, and that little girl was me.
Yes, sir.
Through her poll numbers, she briefly searched after the debate. It was only downhill from there. And next one, in two TV interviews, of course, over the course of a week in 2017, Donald Trump called Harris nasty for her questioning of Attorney General William Barr over his handling of the Mueller report during the Senate jurisdictional hearing. Next, she had an inconsistency stance on health care. And I'm not going to go in there. I'm going to keep on going. During her campaign, Harris shed away from the discussing specifics about her career as a prosecutor and the strategy choice born of fear that the voters on the left would criticize her criminal justice issue. She even failed to give a sharp response to the Republican. What's TULSI? Tissa Gabbard?
Yeah, Tulsa Gabbard. Yeah,
Tulsa Gabbard misleading attacks against her record, leaving voters unclear about her position. Wow, this lady did so much. She ended her presidency campaign in 2019. I got to speed up. She delayed her endorsement for Biden until March 8th. So she delayed her Biden. I don't care about it. She's an enthusiastic cook. Her favorite books. I ain't gonna even go into that. She typically rises up about 6 o'clock in the morning. She describes herself as a tough boss. One of the few times her father spoke publicly about her when he reprimanded her for suggestively pointing to her Jamaican heritage when asking about support for legalization of marijuana. That's something but it just goes on and on. Her motto comes from her mom. You may be the first, but make sure you're not the last.
Yeah. She want to break the glass for everybody behind her.
Yeah.
She want to break the glass ceiling for people behind her.
And then she has one more thing that she did, Pastor.
What is it?
She was the first Black American vice president the United States has ever. Wait, let me get this right. Woman, Black vice president that America has ever seen.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that from that point, she had the launching pad, and all Biden had to do was not run in 2022, and we could be talking about President Kamala Harris right now. So she was sabotaged by the people wanting to keep Biden in power, and then on the other end of it, she was already going to face the headwinds of the Republican Party, who basically are indifference, a lot of prejudice involved, and then first of all being a woman, and then a woman of color.
So, Pastor, with all that I skimmed through, with everything that we just covered on this lady, would you vote for her if she ran again as president?
Yes, sir. And she still sends out. I got a text from her 2 days ago.
I got a text from her this morning.
She's still sending out stuff. She's quietly staying in her lane, trying to raise money for the Democratic Party, trying to help the Congress fight against Trump, trying to get things lined up for 2026 to take back the Congress and the Senate. And I believe in 2028, she's going to show back up on the scene.
I hope she show up and she has something that if they allow her to I hope that they coaching her up during this time. I hope that she doesn't make any fumbles during this time. And I hope that she gets to a point where she got a track record.
Yes.
And she needs to run on some of the things that she believes in, because they basically had handcuffs on her, and that's the reason why she couldn't go nowhere last time, because she was still trying to support this team that had this thing that wanted to keep that power in. And so I need you to ask me the question, Pastor. And I think people are going to be
Ron
surprised at my answer.
Would you still vote? I don't know if you voted for the first time.
I did.
Would you still vote for Kamala Harris?
Yes, I'm going to tell you right now, I would still vote for Kamala Harris because Kamala is the only one that's got experience as a vice president. We didn't have the president Sleeping Joe that we didn't know if they didn't went in his room at 4 o'clock in the morning, he was going to have to call together a team of people to help make a decision on something. And Kamala just in that little small thing that I just gave you, that little outline of her past and her career, she's showing me that she would show up to work and look out for the people, and she would try. She has the degree where she can get this thing back on track. I don't think nobody else out there can get it back on track, Pastor. And I think that she has everything that she needs to get this back on track. She just has to surround herself with the best team possible, and people have to give her a chance to change all of this stuff and go about it the right way so we don't have a fool like him in office. I think that President, I'm going to say Trump's vice president would have a hard time with Kamala Harris versus anybody else that was out there.
That's right. J.D. Vance, she'll mop him up. The thing about it is she need to go through the primaries again. And I think her biggest rival is going to be the governor of Pennsylvania. But note this also, not because I'm not anti-Semitic. I love all people. But I do know it's going to be hard for him to, because he is a Jew himself. And for America talk about Israel, they want Israel to stay in Israel. When it gets down to who's going to be the president of the United States, I don't believe we've ever had a Jewish president yet. Now, could he make a good vice president for her? Yes. Matter of fact, he even has a speech pattern of Obama when he tries to make a speech. He has a charismatic type style. He does a lot of good things. They tried to bomb it. They bombed his house in Pennsylvania, or set it on fire or something. They're trying to take him out already. So he is a formidable force. But I think there would be a better team than her and the guy she had from Wisconsin.
I don't think he gave her what she needed.
Yeah,
she needs somebody like the guy that you were saying that could cultivate and bring people together and could make a speech, not to high schoolers, not to the. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone. That's another show. But you know, being a high school teacher and trying to become VP at the same time, your speech has to be geared toward people that were voting for you.
She was trying to get that middle America, Anglo-American man and go hunting and all that kind of stuff. Trying to strip them off of Trump, you know, because the guy was a hunter and all this kind of stuff. Nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy.
But politics is cutthroat.
And now they got him out there on record as going against what she was there for. So, you know, and Kamala, and I'm gonna tell you that's one of the things that made me come to this show, because I'm sitting here saying, you gave this guy a chance when you could have gave anybody else a chance that was out there that was better qualified. You gave him a chance. And who's the first one to turn coat on one of these little live TV shows and everything? He turned coat on her. So I'm just like, wait a minute, hold up. I don't know. We as black people, we have a hard time in this country. Anything that we do, and then plus she had 3 strikes against us. As a male, we only got 2 strikes against us. But as a female running, trying to run a race and get this country under her shoulders, she had 3 strikes against her. And soon, and come to find out, she had a 4th one because he didn't support her. And
name the strikes. Name the strikes they had.
I'm sorry.
What were the 3 strikes?
She was black, 1. She was a woman,
2.
And number 3, she was in a field of people that didn't respect her.
Right.
She was in a field.
Right. The fact that she had to try to do it in 91 days.
Yeah, they didn't give her a leg up.
Yeah. And now you're saying even the man that's running would have turned on her.
Didn't turn on her. So I'm like, you know what, Pastor, we're having a good show here, and I'm gonna let you run with it a little bit more, and then we're gonna say a prayer and get out of here. I want to get out of here on time tonight because it seems like our broadcasters, when they run over, it's hard to make shorts from.
You're right. Let me say this. I don't know if a lot of people watching tonight, if they really tune in, they might be saying, why is Ron asking would you vote for Kamala Harris when all Trump has is about maybe 120, 130 days so far in the new? Because elections are won by people starting to run in their mind 3 years before the time. Right now, for 2028, the Democrats got to already be ready. If we're not ready and don't know who we're trying to push for, what we stand for, we're then coming out the back door, just like Biden set up by not letting it run since 2022. Come 2026, as they're running for the House, as they're running for the Senate, every presidential candidate going to be in the mix, going out campaigning for these people, putting their name out there, getting their face shown. Kamala Harris has the goods. She has the record. She has the experience. And I believe if she put her hand back to the plow, she can take us all the way. That's why we're having this discussion tonight.
Because and the other thing is, Pastor, the national media is not having these discussions. See, they got midterm elections coming up. Kamala could add to that. She could mix in with the midterm elections and show the people that didn't want to give Biden no more money. And the reason why he really dropped out of the race wasn't because he was sick or any of that and everything that they was hiding. He dropped out of the race because the people wasn't going to put no more money in. George Clooney, when he had that meeting, he didn't even recognize George Clooney. So they didn't have money. So she's consistently trying to raise money, and I hope that she continues to do it because she is our best chance to beat that vice president that Trump has in place right now. Because he really doesn't stand a chance against her. But if you look at it, she has something that she is. His wife is the same, runs the same race as she does.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you can't, if you come at her, you got to be coming at your own wife at that same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ron, thanks for the opportunity, man. We missed Baron Glass 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we miss Baron. I told Baron, Byron, I miss you, man. We already lost John. I understand the reason why John's not coming on, but Baron, I miss you, man. But he's fighting a good race.
Oh yeah,
He's
I talked to him last week.
Fighting for something that's going on in his area. Byron is an elected official down there, so I'm just telling you, when he's not here, he wants to be here, but he doesn't want to take away from the program by him being in the car. And I'm sure he's just out there listening. And it's certain dead spots that he run across, and he thinks it takes away from the program. So I just want to tell y'all, Byron wants to be here, but he just not here. So I'm gonna give it to you, Pastor, and let you get us out of here. And we're gonna do like them churches, we're gonna get out of here on time. We done already had the choir sing, we done passed the offering plate. Now we're ready for the prayer, so we can get ready. So we can get ready for the next service, Pastor.
All right. The offering plate's been passed around. Yeah, don't take the money, Ron.
I'm not. I'm gonna keep it.
Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to have this dialogue tonight and to share with our listeners and those who are watching live or archive our thoughts about the present state of our country, politics, what we believe, what we stand for. We know, Lord God, that you're in control of everything. And while we put our best minds forward, our best plans, get our hands involved and put the best work, if you do not step in, it can't be done. So that's why we honor you, submit to you, even in this political arena. We give your name the reverence and the glory. We leave this platform, but not your presence. May we be able to impact our community, our city, and our world. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I want to say thank God. And I want to say, Pastor, this was a great show. I hope it was informative to the people that was out there. And if you get a chance, go out there and subscribe and get me and Pastor Riggins out there, because we want to continue doing this. We're not asking for an offering plate. We just want you to subscribe and listen to our shows. And if you want to, I do other shows outside of this, but we continuously try to make an improvement, and we try to bring positive light, and we try to get in the middle of this thing so you can make your own decision. And we try to bring out information so you can be your own judge. And that's one of the things. We done had the prayer. We done had the prayer. And now we got to get the ushers to moving the people out of the church so we can get the next group in. I want to say thank God, thank God, thank God. Thank you, Pastor Riggins, for your time, and I really appreciate you. And I hope that we broke this down enough, because you broke it down the first time, and then I came back and reinforced what you just said with facts. That's what we do.
Yes,
good night, everybody. Have a good one, Pastor. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
You're laughing. Am I right or wrong? Because
you're right, man.
Correct me now.
You know, I try to know my history. I try to know my stuff, and I didn't know you had all the facts sitting there with you.
Yeah, I was waiting on you, because you was breaking it down just like I had it. It was already out there, and I said, man, I gotta let Pastor run with this one, because he's on it. All right, y'all. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Bye, Pastor.
Good night.